To get the player they want at the NHL's trading deadline Monday, the Penguins are going to have to give up something significant. I happen to feel that something significant should be someone who has spent most of this season on the first line. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. This is DK's Daily Shot, sponsored by Schneider Downs.
What I want from my public accounting firm is big ideas.
But I don't want to lose the personal attention.
My company needs global capabilities.
From a firm with local ownership.
And I want to work with industry experts.
Who take the time to understand my unique challenges. And that's what sets Schneider Downs apart. Expertise for the most complex business issues. With the service you need every day. To learn how our big thinking with a personal focus can help your company, visit schneiderdowns.com.
Conor Sheary is a good hockey player, and I use that term, good hockey player, in the same sense and spirit that Mike Sullivan does. It's one of his favorite phrases, and he speaks it with such conviction. Sheary is that. We've seen that over the past couple of seasons. We've seen that in the last couple of playoffs. He's gone out and contributed big goals, timely goals. Who can forget the goal against San Jose early in the Stanley Cup Final in 2016? He's a really, really good hockey player. However, the Penguins have a fair amount of Conor Sheary already around them on the roster. They have smallish, skilled wingers. They have Jake Gensel. They have Brian Rust. Jim Rutherford has made clear, A, that he knows that he has a lot of that commodity, and B, that he's going to have to give up something in order to get. Well, in his case, it's literal. What he has to give up is cash in order to be able to take on cash. Fortunately for the Penguins, I happen to believe that there's a pretty good market for a player like Sheary. There are teams that need a guy who can produce 20 goals over 60-plus games the way he did last season. He's got 12 goals and 10 assists this year, and yeah, again, he's benefited from being on that first line, but he's also shown plenty of skill, chemistry, savvy, finishing touch, the whole deal. He's not a big guy, but again, he's a very good hockey player. He also makes $3 million a year over this year and each of the next two. That's the player that has to be moved, in my mind, in order to bring in that other center. That still isn't going to equate the amount that you'd have to pay on a prorated basis or next year for the full salary to someone like, say, the Senators' Derek Brassard, who's at $5 million in his AAV, or average annual value. But you do have to move a salary out. You do have to move talent out. And Sheary is the one who lines up the best with that. The question that follows, and this is where it gets a whole lot tougher, is do you also meet the extra demand that's going to come with it for a top prospect? Because when you're talking about the Penguins and you're talking about a top prospect, you're talking about one player, and that's Daniel Sprong. And that's a far more difficult decision. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. This has been DK's Daily Shot, sponsored by Schneider Downs. You're listening to DK Sports Radio.